Deadly flooding continues to affect the nation's midsection this morning. We'll take you to some of the hardest hit areas. And a community in Letcher County is mourning the loss of one of their restaurants following a fire. And people gathered in Hazard last night to talk about how to make the community a better place.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 20th. I'm Taylor Upchurch. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, it's a little chilly out there this morning, but that's not going to last.
No, not going to last later today as spring approaches. 5:58 this evening, and temperatures will get much warmer. Not as much frost this morning. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar because of a little cloud cover. Some patchy frost still possible across the area. Temperatures, Jackson holding down at 40 there on top of the ridge. Everybody else there in the upper 20s, close to 30. Some mid to upper 30s across parts of the Big Sandy. So a little extra on your coffee meter this morning for most. Normal day for those folks over in the Big Sandy where it's a little bit warmer there. Almanac for today, 60 your daytime high, at least the forecast, average of 59, so right there pretty close. The record of 86, but set back on this day in 2012. The rest of the forecast is on the way here in just a few minutes. Taylor.
Thank you, Brandon. Mandatory evacuations and states of emergency continue in the flood-ravaged Midwest and Plains. The disaster has been fueled by days of intense rain that were followed by a pre-spring snowmelt. In some areas, the water has started to recede, but communities along the Missouri and Mississippi rivers know more is on the way. On Tuesday, Vice President Mike Pence traveled to Nebraska to get a first-hand look at the devastation.
People are going to stand with people across Nebraska, across Iowa, across all of the 8 states that have been impacted by this severe weather and this flooding.
Experts say the floodwaters have likely contaminated many of the wells that rural communities rely on for their drinking water. And not much is left of a Letcher County restaurant after it caught fire early yesterday morning. Around 3:30 a.m. Tuesday, Neon Fire Station received a call that Bentley's Drive was in flames. When the crews got to the scene, the building was full of smoke. Firefighters busted out a window, but due to several factors, they were unable to stop the fire from destroying the building.
The biggest struggle we had was they just the inside the building was kind of like a maze. There's so much stuff in there that they couldn't hardly get access into the seat of the fire. They finally did reach it, but when they hit it, it just wasn't doing no good.
The cause of the fire is still unknown. And a massive fire at a Texas chemical storage facility is still burning this morning. The blaze at Intercontinental Terminals Company in suburban Houston started Sunday. Officials say 8 of their 15 chemical tanks are still on fire. The tanks contain chemicals used to make gasoline. Crews are fighting the flames with foam and water. They do not know when the fire will be contained.
If it was up to me, we would just end it today and we'd put the fire out. But it's not that simple. It's an evolving situation that is very volatile, that changes from one moment to the next. Yesterday at this time, they thought they had certain aspects under a certain containment. It changed overnight. When I got up, one of the first things, it was worse than it was yesterday.
Schools and businesses in the area reopened on Tuesday following concerns about air quality. The cause of the fire is under investigation. In other news, city officials in Hazard are not only trying to make sure younger generations want to stay in the mountains, but they're also working to make the city a better place. Last night, officials with the League of Cities held a forum for students and others in the community. WYMT's Justin Case went to Hazard High School to find out what local people want to see in their hometown.
City leaders hope our kids go to college, even if it means going to school outside of Eastern Kentucky. The question then is, how do we get them to come back?
We want you to come back, and what we want to try to do is interest them in what do we need to do to get them to come back.
Students at the forum imagine what it would be like to raise a family in the city where they grew up.
I have nothing to do here, so why would I bring my children back here when they have nothing to do here?
That's where the League of Cities comes in. They're trying to learn what would make people want to come back.
We are trying to help them not only come up with what the problems are, but we're asking the people we're talking with for solutions and ideas to their problems.
A lot of the ideas brought up at the forum are things like more local shops and restaurants and adventure tourism, but those ideas all cost money.
We can play a part in it as a government, but we have to have people step up and say, you know, we want this place to be better than it is.
Officials from the League of Cities are helping local leaders find funding necessary to bridge the gap between ideas and action.
Whether it's grants, government money, or local financing.
All in the hopes of continuing to take pride in the place we call home.
Hazard has the potential to be better than Pikeville and anywhere around us because, I mean, I believe we have the prettiest place. We just need to clean it up and make other people who aren't from here know that it's pretty.
Making sure we keep our eyes forward on a better tomorrow.
There were 2 separate forums yesterday afternoon, one for students and a second for anyone in the community. Officials from the League of Cities will take all of the ideas and recommendations and present them to city officials this week. They will then begin working to find ways of funding the ideas. And another reminder this morning, don't forget to sign up for Hoops Hysteria on WYMT.com. The winner gets a 65-inch smart TV, and a $1 million prize will be awarded nationally if someone correctly picks all the games. You have until 15 minutes before the first game on Thursday to sign up. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. And coming up, why one popular coffee chain's rewards program is getting an upgrade.
We're only hours away from spring, but the weather this morning still feels a little closer to what we feel like with winter conditions. I'll have the full forecast in about 3 minutes.